So how did Superman convince me that it was useful for someone with ambition to push towards the moral good? I'm so glad you asked. In one of the older Superman movies, General Zod tries to get revenge on Superman and can't find him. So Zod decides to take over the Earth to get Superman's attention. He conquers America pretty easily and makes the White House his headquarters. The last puny army tank tries to challenge him, and he destroys it with his eyes. He leans back in the presidential chair of the Oval Office, looks at his assistant, and asks, "Where's Superman? I'm bored." And this convinced me that moving toward a moral good is useful, because Superman's never bored. Comics are the closest thing we have to the Greek mythology of multiple gods and goddesses with weaknesses, strengths, and stories. Stories we use to make sense of the world and learn lessons about life. Comics help us in the same way. Each character represents different parts of the human experience. Batman represents the Jungian shadow, the Hulk, rage and animal instinct, Iron Man, finding a better way, Thor, the search for worthiness, and the Man of Steel is meant to be the ultimate symbol of truth, justice, and hope. He's the world's first superhero and represents the guiding light, but he also is one of the closest representations of a complete god figure. He's one of the few characters that's almost perfect. He has all of the history and knowledge of his home world backing him. Nothing from Earth can touch him. He's invincible except for kryptonite that came from his home planet. He had great adoptive parents, grew up with good friends, and chose to be a good person. Across every metric, Superman has won, and as a result, he has almost no reason to exist. Because as great as all that power sounds, in stories and life, we're captivated by the journey. And Superman seemingly has no reason for a journey. He has no struggle. And he has no people. He's an orphan. There's no obvious conclusion on the surface that he could have children. No one can compete with him, and he has nothing to do. But we love Superman, because he always has something to do, because he's decided that he does. There's a beautiful quote from one of the later movies where Superman's father sends him to Earth and says,
"You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time, they will join you in the sun cow. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders."
And that's the real purpose of Superman. He isn't here for him. He's here for everyone else. And because of that, he has a reason to exist. He could have one of the loneliest existences on Earth. But instead, he has a rich life. Because he's decided that he isn't complete until everyone on Earth is like him. General Zod came to Earth and it took him less than 10 minutes to get bored. Because there's a limit to how much you can break things, but there's no limit to how much you can build something up. If you decide to be evil and manipulate the world for your own gain in ways that break the fabric of reality, because that's what being evil does, eventually you will break it so much that you have nothing left to play with. But if you choose to build, you can keep building until you're building out into the stars. You might think this doesn't apply to real life, that humans are different. You can manipulate, steal, break, and destroy for a very long time before you ever get to the point where things are broken beyond repair. And that's true. This idea I'm talking about isn't meant to point out a scientific argument for how much you can be evil and take over the world before you run into a problem. I'm talking about something that's a useful truth. You can prove that you can steal stuff, make the world a worse place, gain from it along the way, and have a great time doing it. If you wish to become a mob boss, you can probably do that for the rest of your life, because you're not a god. But if you decide as a life strategy that you're gonna break and destroy people so that you can win and live, then some part of your mind will know that you're playing a finite game. Superman was playing an infinite game, and because of that, his life was a richer experience. General Zod had a limitation on his story because he chose to destroy, and part of your mind knows this stuff. So if you're an ambitious person considering doing a lot of things in the world, and one of the things you're wondering about is whether or not you should be good or bad, then think about this. You will be more high performance if you choose the good, because your brain is designed to adapt to situations. And if you choose good, then you will automatically be choosing an infinite game. And if you choose an infinite game, then your brain will rise to the occasion. And you'll be more powerful than the people who choose a finite game. You can pick faults with this idea all you want. I've had dinner conversations on this topic where plenty of people have done so. But it doesn't take away from the utility of the idea. If you want to win and grow, if you want to have meaning and purpose in your life, then choose good. Because if you choose evil, you'll eventually run out of things to do. Because there's only so much chaos that humanity can survive. If you break things down enough, eventually we'll have to go back to the wilderness. And the farther we go towards barbarianism, the fewer options we have. Life wasn't as interesting 200 years ago as it is today. And if we choose that path, then we'll have to live that life. But if instead you choose to make things better, if you choose to help others, bring people together, innovate and create, then your opportunity will increase and your mind will understand that it's living in a world of abundance and rise to the occasion. You will become better. Even if you're a person of extreme ambition who's committed to beating the competition, it's worth it to move towards the moral good as you do it. Because if you don't, your brain knows there's a limit. So set yourself up for a limitless life. Choose to do the right thing because evil has an end. And if you choose good, you can build towards the stars.